Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, I want to tell you something that I did that I think is going to be pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to be cool or not. You get to find out with me. See this big old tub? Right after Christmas, we had some potatoes that we did not use, and they were starting to sprout. We bought them at like Whole Foods where they don't spray them down with all the chemicals to stop them from sprouting. So they're getting ready to sprout, or starting to sprout, and I took this big old tub and I put a couple of rocks in the bottom, but basically I put in about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches of soil, just up to about right here. And then I took those potatoes, I cut them into 8 pieces, and I stuck them in the soil, knowing that if they just had that much dirt over them, they'd grow up through the soil. And sure enough, they did. And after they grew up and they were about 3 or 4 inches, I added another 3 or 4 inches of dirt. And I kept adding dirt until I had over 2 feet of dirt. My thought is that it ought to grow potatoes all the way down. And I'm going to increase my potato yield by, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. See, I can't dig up the potatoes until the top of the potato vine dies. That's a sign the potatoes, hopefully it's a sign, the potatoes are done. Well, look, that's about as dead as you're going to get. I figure it's done. Now, what does this have to do with my video thought for the day? Well, this week, I want to talk about creation. And so I'm starting with Genesis, the first book of creation. And in Genesis, God creates Adam and Eve in God's image, and he says that their first job is, in essence, to be a gardener. And it's really cool because when God created humanity, he didn't create us just to be some slug out on a slug hill. He created us with the skills and the knowledge and the ability to do our own work at creating. You see, part of what it means to be in the image of God is to not only reflect God to the world, but also to use the skill set that is ours like God. So for example, in creation, when God is creating the world in 7 days, and that story is told in Genesis 1, God calls things and gives them their name. He calls the day or the light day and the darkness night, and that's what they were. So God does the naming the first 6 days of creation. But after he makes Adam and Eve in his name, or in his image, all of a sudden, humanity gets to do the naming. That skill set that God had is one that the humans then got. And so we're called to be creative people. We are called to take our skills, to take our energy, to take our minds, and to use them for good purposes. That's what God wants us to do. In fact, God says for Adam and Eve, he says that they are to tend the garden, but and Eved is the word, Hebrew word for work the garden. But he also says they're supposed to shamar the garden. And that word is typically translated guard or watch over, but it entails this idea of looking thoughtfully at stuff and trying to figure out what to do with it. And that's what I've done with these potatoes. Now the question is, are there potatoes under the ground? I got to tell you, I really don't know. I haven't even checked. I've done absolutely nothing until this video. But we're going to start right here. I'm just going to skewer this and pull it up. And so far there's nothing. That's not a good sign. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking. Now if this did not work, I'm not sure I can blame Whole Foods, but I'm going to blame somebody. Let's see. No, nothing there yet. Okay, I wore the wrong color shirt for this, didn't I? Okay, that's a little knob. If that's all the potato I've got, I'm in deep, deep trouble. So much for this idea. Hold on, I'm not giving up yet. I'm not giving up yet. Oh, whoa, 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 look at that. Tell me that's not going to be tasty. Hold on. There's more where that came from. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ah, hold on. Look. Look. Whoa! You realize I never would have had this if I hadn't planted it. Okay, hold on. That's telling me there's more down here. I've just gotta dig deep. You know, there's another video thought for the day, that things aren't always as they appear at the surface. Sometimes you gotta dig down to really get what counts in this life. That's the kind of lesson you get as a gardener, as someone who's being creative, the way God told us to be. Yeah, I'm up to 3. That's your video thought for the day.